Well, she's a 2008 F-250. It don't look bad from far. It used to be a snowplow truck, so it's seen its share of salt. But I think everything on here looks repairable. You can see there's a bracket from a snowplow bracket. There's a few homemade patches on here. The bottom of the door there, the cab corner, and all around the box. Nice big dent in the box. It's in there. Oh, it don't look too bad in there. This is a gas model F-250. It's got the 5.4 in it. Big panel hanging off there. Definitely going to be something wrong in this area, why there's this excessive rust. It has a soft brake pedal, so maybe that's where the leak is. You can see this box is gone well beyond repair. But I think the frame will be able to clean up. It's a really thick frame. Tailgate. Some chips, a little bit of a rust spot at the bottom there. The bumper is a little bit banged up. It looks dented and twisted, and that side's not too bad. But it's definitely got something going on. This side, this guy put these patches on here. Look at that. Look at how far past it goes. It's a huge patch. And it looks funny. This is the 4x4 off-road package on this one. It's got a limited slip rear differential and 373 gears. You can see she's pretty crunchy in there. And again, I'm not even gonna attempt to save this box. I think this box is done. More patching over there. Like the bar just hanging. It's got this bracket welded on this side, but on the other side that bracket's just dangling too. The cab corner's got a dent in it, and it's been repaired over here. I think mostly just that cab corner section is gone. The rest will get wire wheeling at it and see what's savable. This door again, like the other side, it's rusted right out at the bottom. It's about $100 a panel for basically every spot on here. So I don't know if I want to fix that many of them. There's the bracket in there. See, the frame's not too rusty up here. That's peeling off. That white stuff is the salt where it gets like stuck behind stuff and just keeps on corroding. Our wheel lip, we're missing a little bit here, so it might not look good underneath the chrome thing. What's it look like over underneath? There's no holes in the cab floor that I can tell yet. But like, I got a lot of rust to clean off of this stuff. Skid plates, those come with the 4x4 off-road package. Got the nice Dana 60 front axle here. No oil or transmission leak. Oh. Yeah, nice and dry, but I'd say that that tranny fan's getting thin. Looks pretty corroded back there. I never had a Superduty truck before, and how thick the frame is and strong a lot of these parts are is pretty interesting. Is that? Oh, she's just heavy. So everything's here on this truck. Some needs a little cleaning. I think he wired the plow in with these house wires before. You can see down there, if you can read it, it does say 5.4 on there somewhere. But the rod support's not rotted out like it would be on an OBS truck. I kind of just looked at all the typical spots I look at on OBS trucks and was like, oh, it's got a pretty good structure in there on the inside. Up here, some mice were eating away at stuff on top of there and ate that foam. The wires are the throttle body actuator motor wires. I had to hook them up because it would only idle. And for some reason, there's a piece of pool filter line or something as the fuel crossover line right now. I don't think that's very safe. I'm gonna call on Monday about getting new parts and price everything out. But the firewall is not too rusty. I did see some spots, I don't know if we can tell, but way down in there is some rust on the bottom. Definitely not telling in there. It looks nice how much room is around this motor for when I go and break off all the spark plugs in it. Or, well, hopefully they don't break off. Hopefully we can just change the spark plugs, but I don't know. There's a good chance of them breaking off. They're definitely dirty in there. The oil's been clean, so we'll see. Very big, tall rad there. Plus, we got the AC condenser and a transmission cooler. It looks like there's something in the middle down there too. I'm not quite sure what that one is. Another trans cooler, or I don't know. We have a very, very big brake reservoir. One of the biggest I've ever seen. And it does run. Now it's got the other bad problem of the manifolds. Can we see them this way maybe? The manifolds are extremely rusty and leaking on both sides. So I'm gonna look at what I can get. Hopefully I can get some shorty headers that'll go in there. But that's a must, is I gotta fix that and break off the studs and get them out or whatever I gotta do. I hope they'll just undo, but I know how that usually works. It's not very likely that it'll just undo. It's not horrible under here. It's definitely at the maximum of me being able to save a lot of this stuff. But I'll wire wheel that clean and see what's left. And like, if it's like that, we'll probably have more replacing. If not, we'll be able to save it. We'll give it all a paint job. And then we'll cover it with some kind of rust proofing oil or whatever. Whatever blocks the rust from coming back like this, that's for sure. The interior in here is very, very good. For a work truck, I'm surprised that the seats are in this kind of shape. There's some cigarette burns, but overall, like, this is the worst right here. Not too bad. It's got 220,000 on it, which is decently low. That's kilometers. There's a couple mouse turds on the seat over here, so it's definitely had a mouse in it somewhere. And the light cover is down there on the floor because water was leaking in that light. Right here from this little antenna. So we got a spot to repair on the roof. That one looks to be just magneted on. Not too bad. It's had maybe a rough window install. The hood's pretty good shape. But I'm gonna tear into this truck and see what I'm able to do. I'm gonna do the minimal to get it to pass a safety inspection first. And then once I'm able to drive it and see what it's like, then I'll get into spending more money into it because it's rusty. It needs a few patches, a few temporary ones and a few permanent ones, but we do gotta do a little working on this truck to save her. So I'm gonna get to her. We'll see what we can do. I like these tail lights, but I don't think there's no saving the rest of the box. So off she goes. We'll see. Maybe I'll incorporate them into a new box. Ugh. Holy. There, get those patches that are hanging off out of the way so I don't get cut by nothing. And let's go. Well, that'll do. I'm gonna need some measurements off that, and it looks like I can get to every side pretty good. So, on to the rust. Here she is. I got the box off and been banging on here, knocking the rust free, and I just blew it all off. And all this white in here is it's all what happens underneath the rust, and it's like a super corrosion of all the salt in there getting trapped in there, and then it just continuously will eat away at your frame. So that is going to be the most important part to remove of cleaning all this frame, is make sure all of that is gone. There may be tiny bits of darkness of the rust, but as long as there's none of that, I'll be able to paint over it and it'll be able to last. So I just gave the frame here a quick wire wheel, and I knocked off a lot of the bigger rust flakes, and then I've soaked it all in WD-40, and my goal with the WD-40 is that it's going to penetrate into the rust, and then I can come back with my pressure washer and some degreaser and just wash the rest of the flaky rust away, as long as it penetrated in there far enough. So this is what it's looking like. There's the areas like over here. or I didn't wire wheel that. That's what the whole thing was looking like. And then if we come around to the other side over here, this side's more open. So I've just quickly gone through. You can see there's still a lot of stuff on there, but that WD-40 is gonna penetrate in behind all those little rust flakes, and then I'll be able to wash it off, and I'm gonna degrease everything really good before painting, so I'm not really worried about, because I squirted oil on it before painting. I paint things that are in oily areas fairly often, so I know if we just clean it up really good, it's gonna be fine. So I'm underneath here. We're gonna take care of cleaning up this rust all along the bottom here. It looks pretty bad, but I've been scraping on the other side, and most of it is just a lot of paint coming off. The white there, all them white dots, that's that corrosion and all the salt that was trapped in behind. Now it's exposed, so I'll be able to wash it away. But there's only a couple spots that are actually corroded to the point where they might need repair, and a lot of this is just the paint peeling off really badly. The interior is not too bad in here. It's not like the total base model. These are like the premium kind of fabric seats. You can see the passenger one's really good shape. Must have had a cover on it forever. The back, it's all nice. There's a couple of cigarette holes in it. But other than that, the seats are all really nice. The dash is all good shape. The only damage to the door panels is this right here, and it's missing that one, that little cover there. But otherwise, it's just dirty in here. And under here, I found a hole. So that means my floor is definitely going to be rusty under there. So I'm going to have to take out the whole rubber floor carpet there, and I'm going to give it all a good clean and get in the crevices and clean everything right on up in here. We got lots of cleaning to do in here. There was a bit of a mouse nest in the back here, and he chewed on all the stuff right around here. We're gonna get her all fixed up and clean out around these injectors and all these spark plug holes. See if we notice any other problems. Well, I fixed one thing, and then I found another thing wrong, something that's not good, that's pretty wrong. So I changed the fuel line back there from a pool hose to a high pressure piece of fuel line with a nice clamp on it. I got to get a better clamp for this side, but I'll get the matching one. And then I put her in gear and tried to shift through the gears, and it's only got first and second gear. So I come out to check the transmission fluid, and the tube is rotted right off. It goes way back there, and all I got to fix it is this OBS dipstick tube that's really short. So we're gonna go just like they did back in the day, and this dipstick tube's gonna be way in there. Oh, look how good that worked. Just like them old ones in the early 90s. It's way back there, but you can get it right out. Goes right back in. Well, kind of. Just like it did in the 90s, it's way in the back. Well, I got that dipstick tube in and I added a liter of fluid. It might need more, but we're getting some gears. See, there's two. See, there's another one. Whoa. So, the brakes back there are what's making all that noise and all the shaking. But I think that the transmission works. I'm gonna check my fluid again. I know I don't got the right dipstick, but stuff is happening. So this is all the transmission lines and the transmission pan. And seeing that we got first, second, and third gear in this tranny for sure. It was a snowplow truck in town, so I bet it hasn't been in its overdrive gears, fourth and fifth, for years and years and years. So I'm going to spend more money and I'm going to bypass all these rusty lines, put a new lines, probably a new filter system on it, and we'll continue working. So we got this nice hole in the carpet or vinyl floor here, and look what it did to the steel underneath. In areas like way back in that corner, some spots there's literally piles of salt. This is just, all the paint's destroyed. I don't think there's holes, so we'll see how I can clean it. Well, I gave it a quick scraping with a big screwdriver and vacuumed all the chips out. You can see there's various levels of corrosion. Some spots just the paint, these darker spots were scaly, and then these ones that went silver were like really thick rust on there. We have a hole in that area, but otherwise we just have a lot of cleaning to do, and we'll patch that up and have a new floor pan in no time. I can't decide. Do I want to leave it white or paint it red? I really like red, but I'm gonna clean it and see what I think. Well, this Superduty is super dirty. All the paint is damaged, like all the way around. There's stone chips on the front. The fenders are peeling on both sides. The bottom of the doors are all peeling up. Where that little antenna is on the roof is all bubbling. So all around this thing, it needs paint repair. So it's going to be easier to just give the whole thing a paint job. The white is good looking. I do like white, but I like red a little bit better. So tell me what you think, red or white? As you can see, exhaust manifold has a big crack in it, and then the studs at the front of this one were broken, and the rear of the driver's side were broken. So I've been getting at them, and stuff's been happening. I've been breaking them more than anything. This is how they've been coming out. I've been welding old sockets and nice big nuts on them to get them out, but they just keep on breaking. I got one all the way out, but I think as long as I get the manifold off of there by breaking them, and then I'm going to do my next idea, and I'm going to lift the cab off of there and get some more motor room to work around the motor area instead of working in this hole. Well, I'm going to pull her up, start by taking the interior out so I can get the carpet out of here, or the vinyl floor, and get full access to the inside of the floor, and then we'll back it back in here and get the engine components. That's battery number 2 that's gonna be dead. Jeez. Okay, out you come. Watch out, Mr. Mac. That came out easy. I don't think any of this stuff in here is any good. A glove. Oh, we got a quarter, a dime, a lighter, some weird metal thing, pens, a little teeny flat screwdriver. It's like an odd one. It's got a little wings on it. Oh, definitely like a work truck under there. That little guy is a tricky one to find, but I'll get him. got back here. The correct way is pushing the tab, but somebody had already had this tab mangled in, and that one too, right in through the clip. But I got one off by pushing the tab. Found a mouse nest too, right by this nice convenient access hole he has. Look at all the mouse poop down there, holy moly. And this is gonna be way nicer having all this cleaned out. There's our cab mount. We'll have full access to that. Whoa, clunking stuff. Well, that'll do it for the interior, for the seats anyways. You can probably just pull this thing all out in one big clump, and it'll take all the dirt and crap with it. Not bad. The only rust is that up there in the driver's area. So the rest is just going to need a good cleaning. We have a couple little mouse bites that we'll address. But coming along good. Get this one. Well, I got all the interior out in here. So I got full access to all the metal on the floor. Able to look at them spots by the cab corners and see what all I'm going to need to clean up in here. So next, we'll get her positioned under the hoist there. And I'm going to get into ripping the stuff out of the engine bay. I'll try and make sure I get it lined up really nice, because once I get in there, start disabling stuff, she's going to be stuck where I put it for the most part. I'll get a ranger to pull it around if I got to move forward or back, but it's basically going to be sitting where it is. Now, where did them keys go? my cab lifting experience, somewhere right around here is going to be where I'm going to want to lift this extended cab from. So that'll do. Now time to clean out this area. Poor truck's not going to be able to run for a little while, but don't you worry, I'll get you back together. Well, I'm about to get digging pretty deep into this thing. But over the look I've had on it, I've found the main issues that I want to fix. I want to fix all the rusty spots, the edges of the metal that are starting to rust, and repair all the rust on there. And the main issue that's going to prevent me from being able to use this truck is those exhaust manifolds right now. So we're going to get this up, fix all the rust, and get those exhaust manifolds. But that's going to be another episode to see that stuff. For now, we know what we want. I can save this truck with a little bit of work, and we found where our problem areas are. And I got a little bit of an idea on the order I'm going to attack them. Pretty well from what makes it completely unusable all the way up until let's make it better and better and better and better. That's my plan. So check back in and see how it goes. Fixing this rusty old snowplow truck. It's going to be a good job here. But these Super Duties, these are nice trucks. So wait till you see this when it's all done. Well, that's it for today. This truck's going to be a whole nother truck in no time. So make sure you check back in to see how this thing goes here on T-Badge trucks and stuff. See ya.